Welcome back to the guide, Exile. After defeating Dominus in Act 3, you'll enter the Aqueducts. This zone is linear and mostly static in its layout. You'll want to follow the center river up and left, switching sides when the path ends, all the way to the entrance of the Act 4 town, HIGHGATE. Once you enter HIGHGATE, enter the dried lake in the bottom left of the town. The dried lake has a large sideways U layout, as seen in the first guide map. Here we must find and kill Vol, who can spawn in 3 locations. Once you find him, defeat him and take the banner, and portal back to town. Move up to the top left of town and unlock the mines entrance with the banner. Enter the mines level 1. The mines level 1 only has a couple of linear layouts, and entrance to the next zone will generally be in the top left. Enter the mines 2. The mines 2 has many varied layouts with many dead ends. Within this zone, we will also be looking for the Spirit of Deshreet for the Indomitable Spirit quest, which provides a skill point. You only have to tag the spirit to complete the quest. This is marked by the S on the guide map. If you do not find this spirit before the next zone entrance, drop a portal at the entrance to the next zone, as we will return similar to the submerged passage in Act 1. Enter the Crystal Veins. Head through the winding tunnels up to the top left. You will find a waypoint and Lady Diala. Take the waypoint back to HIGHGATE. If you have not found the spirit in Mines Level 2, take your portal back to the Mines Level 2 and find the spirit from here. Once you have found it, portal back to town and turn in your quests. If you have already found the spirit, simply turn in your quests at HIGHGATE. Now you will want to take the waypoint back to the Crystal Veins. There are 2 paths you can take, DARESSO'S Dream on the right and KAOM'S Dream on the left. You will ultimately have to complete both, but the order does not matter. We will complete DARESSO'S Dream first. In the first part of the dream, you will be in the pits of the arena. This zone is fairly linear in fashion and only has a few dead ends. You'll want to head to the top right of the zone, and as you move through the zone, you will encounter small arenas where the doors will close on either side of you, and you'll have to fight waves of enemies. Finally, you will come across a large arena, in which you will have to encounter a unique enemy, Barcool, who uses a cyclone and lays burning ground. Take him and all of the spawning monsters down to open the entrance to the Grand Arena. In the Grand Arena, move up and tag the waypoint. Always move down left from the waypoint and into the other arena. In this arena, move up through the grated door, which will now open, allowing you to pass. You will pass through numerous of these hallways and arena combos until you encounter an arena with 3 mini-unique bosses in it. They make use of some deadly combination attacks and spells, but are quite easy to take down. After they are taken down, enter the next hallway and move up to the final arena, the fight against Daresso. Daresso can be a difficult fight for players with slow movement speed or slow movement speed skills. He will attack with a combination of physical and cold damage with the following moves. A melee attack that strikes the target for a single time, just dealing physical damage. A single target melee combo attack that strikes 3 times, with the final strike being an added 100% of the physical damage as cold damage. Cold waves that increase in radius, dealing 100% cold damage. These cannot be evaded or dodged. Ice cone projectiles that spawn around you and fire in quick succession. Sword clouds that spawn randomly around the arena. These are spells that deal rapid physical damage if stood in. Finally, at 75%, 50%, and 25%, Daresso will kneel down and enrage, granting him increased attack speed. This buff will only last a short time, except for the last time that he uses at 25%, where it will last until death. Make sure you keep moving around the arena frequently, avoiding the sword clouds and cold waves that Daresso performs. Once you have defeated him, claim the Eye of Desire and portal back to town, then take the waypoint back to the Crystal Veins. Speak with Lady Diala to give her the Eye of Desire, and take the portal to KAOM'S Dream. KAOM'S Dream has a static and fairly linear layout. You will want to first move up and then down right to cross the small bridges. Keep an eye out for these bridges, as these are markers of the main path. Follow the path up numerous sets of stairs, winding back and forth until you reach the entrance to KAOM'S Stronghold. KAOM'S Stronghold is much like the previous zone, static, linear, and winding. You will want to move up and tag the waypoint. From there, move left and up and follow the path, winding up and around the cliff sides until you reach KAOM. KAOM is a straightforward fight with only one phase. You will attack with the following moves. A melee attack that strikes the target for physical and fire damage, a leap slam that deals fire damage, and a sunder that deals physical and fire damage. Aside from these moves, he will spawn in supporting monsters and summon raging spirits as the fight progresses. Small fireballs will also begin casting into the arena. You want to take KAOM down as quickly as possible, sidestepping his leap slam and sunder attacks. Once KAOM is dead, claim the Eye of Fury and portal back to town, and then take the waypoint back to the Crystal Veins. Speak with Lady Diala twice to give her the Eye of Fury and to open the Belly of the Beast level 1. The Belly of the Beast level 1 is a narrow tunneled zone that has many varied layouts with many dead ends that are tough to discern for the correct direction. In general, you will want to head to the top left and then to the top right. Once you reach the end, enter the Belly of the Beast level 2. The Belly of the Beast level 2 is much like the previous zone in that there are many narrow hallways with dead ends that are difficult to discern from the correct path. In general, you will make your way to the top left of the zone, sometimes having to go down before up. Once you reach the end of the zone, you will encounter Piety yet again, but this time she is corrupted by the Beast. This fight can get quite hectic, but is very simple in nature. Piety will stand at the center of the room and perform the following moves. Cleave, that deals physical damage in an AoE. Corrupted Balls, that deal physical damage in an AoE. And a Corrupted Beam, that deals physical damage and applies stacks of corrupting blood. You will want to get hits in on Piety while actively moving around her to dodge her beam and balls that can be deadly. During the fight, she will also spawn adds that you can take down for flash charges. Once she is dead, talk with her and continue up through the zone to enter the Harvest. The Harvest has a static layout that contains 3 mini-bosses. You will first want to head directly up in the zone to grab the waypoint near Piety, marked by the number 1 on the guide map. The 3 mini-bosses in the zone will always be DOEDRE, MALIGARO, and SHAVRONNE. They will be at positions 2 through 4 on the guide map, and which position they spawn at will be random. You must defeat these 3 mini-bosses before you can continue. DOEDRE DARKTONGUE has an arena with 3 curse auras that rotate randomly. They are Enfeeble, green, Temporal Chains, purple, and Vulnerability, red. It is most safe to stand in the green Enfeeble aura as it only reduces your damage output. She will attack with a barrage of red projectiles that deal physical damage, and consume curses placed on her, increasing her power. Make sure to move out of her way of her projectiles and stay out of the red Vulnerability curse aura. Maligaro the Inquisitor deals heavy physical damage through his Ethereal Knives spell, and chaos damage through his bombs as well as detonating corpses for fire damage. Ensure to keep mobile during this fight, trying to avoid his bombs and corpse explosions. SHAVRONNE of the UMBRA deals lightning damage and casts a storm cloud all over the room. She also casts lightning ball projectiles, as well as lightning tendrils, and has a lightning thorns aura that reflects lightning damage to the attacker when she is hit. This is denoted by a spiky lightning aura around her base. Make sure to avoid attacking her when it is up, and dodge her storm calls. From the waypoint, you will first want to head right to number 2 on the guide map to encounter the first mini-boss. Defeat this mini-boss and take a portal back to town. Take the waypoint back to the Harvest and continue left to positions 3 and 4 to kill the remaining mini-bosses. After the third mini-boss, take the portal back to town, and then take the waypoint back to the Harvest. Enter the Black Core to encounter the final boss of Act 4, Malachai, the Nightmare. The first phase of this fight starts off with Piety assisting you to weaken Malachai. She will pull the red shield off of Malachai, allowing you to deal damage to him. Malachai will perform the following moves. A melee attack that deals physical damage to a single target. A ground slam that deals heavy physical damage in a large AoE and can be deadly. Tentacles that deal elemental damage that can slow the player. He channels this for 2 seconds. Mortar of projectiles that deal physical damage and leave a small ground of AoE that deals physical damage over time. The ground AoE only occurs in the second part of the fight. A tri-bomb where 3 red orbs spawn in a triangle. After a short period of time, these orbs will explode into 3 smaller orbs for a total of 9 orbs. They will fire in random directions and deal moderate amounts of damage. A teleport slam where Malachai will vanish underground and then reappear near the player, dealing physical damage. Fire traps that explode when the player walks over them. These can be deadly if numerous traps are triggered in quick succession. These traps last for 9 seconds before disappearing. An add spawn of small leeches. These are mainly used for flash charges and are not deadly. Once you bring Malachai to 75%, he will move over to Piety, transforming her back into her corrupted form. You will now have to bring Piety to 50% life. She will perform the same attacks as before, except for the corrupted beam. You will then repeat this process of bringing Malachai to 50% life, and then finally finishing Piety off. Move down into the final area to begin phase 2 of the fight. Malachai will have recovered some life. He will then perform the same moves as in phase 1, except for the ground slam, and will now have zombie ads spawning during the whole encounter and teleport around the arena. At 75%, 50%, and 25%, you will have to destroy the hearts in the arena to continue damaging Malachai. You will destroy them in the following order: top right, bottom, and top left. With each heart that is destroyed, Malachai begins to perform attacks in quicker succession and increases his use of AoE attacks. Upon destruction of the final heart, a red fire ring will spawn that follows you around. You will burn for a fixed amount of fire damage if you are within it. Ensure to keep mobile, doing your best to avoid getting chained by all of his attacks. Once you have defeated Malachai, you will just have one final task to perform to complete Act 4 and reach Act 5. Portal back to Highgate and turn in your quests. Finally, enter the Ascent in the upper right of Highgate. This zone is quite straightforward. You will be heading up and right, crossing a skinny bridge, and then following a road, making your way up and following a narrow passage in a cliffside. Once at the top, you will find the Resonator. Activate it to complete Act 4, opening the portal to Act 5. Oriath awaits you, Exile. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.